The US blockade has officially started. What's going on, guys? It's Ricky with TechBud Solutions. And like clockwork, we talked about it yesterday in our Sunday Stock Talk. As soon as the overnight hours opened and NASDAQ originally gapped down to lows of, I think it was like 600, right? But really it found its support right around 604. What did we say? We announced it to our LPP team about, hey, at 5 p.m. Arizona time is when the overnight hours open on Sunday. What we've picked up before is that, yes, markets gap down over the weekend, but by the time that they open or close on Monday, they often tend to, not always, but often tend to, for the past 6 to 7 weeks, they recover back into the green. I decided to take profits, and a lot of our LPP team did, to play it safe. Playing it safe is not always super sexy, but again, patterns tend to repeat themselves, but they don't always have to. NASDAQ market did a sharp recovery, and yes, that was officially as they announced that the U.S. military has officially began its blockade on the Strait of Hormuz. Now, as long as there are no further attacks, and if oil tankers actually are allowed to pass through, that could be considered a win and progress and giving the market more of a reason to continue to push up, right? Since the ceasefire announcement, markets are actually trading higher, even though Trump has made it very clear, right? This is what I wanted to share with you, that if any of these ships come anywhere close to our blockade, they will be immediately eliminated using the same system to kill that we use against drug dealers on boats at sea. This is what Trump is saying to Iran. He said this morning, about 20 to 30 minutes after the blockade has officially started. Again, markets they can justify any reason to recover and trade higher if the blockade is successful and no attacks actually happen. If Iran begins to step in, if they start attacking one another, it all falls through there. That's an escalation, no more de-escalation, and the ceasefire agreement will then officially end. That is what propped up the market a few days ago, right? So please note that, again, until then, they have a reason to recover. Consistent higher highs and higher lows, regardless if we believe that the economy should be thriving or the stock market should be thriving based off of the current state of our economy. That's a conversation for another time. Remember, markets are irrational. They like to get ahead of themselves. This is why, again, when it crashes so hard, so quickly, because it's a prolonged effect, right? As of right now, NASDAQ market is trading well. There is no break of pattern. We are looking out for that, and I do have my proper alert sets. But until then, they have every reason to recover. I also wanted to quickly highlight what to look out for this week. Remember, last week, we got the CPI data report that showed inflation gapped up in the month of March 0.9%. Inflation is now overall at 3.3% before seasonal adjustment. This week, we have the PPI report. This is the Producer Price Index report on Tuesday, not today, tomorrow. And this is 1 hour before the market opens. Not to scare you, I'm just here to make you aware. I want you to not be surprised. That's the whole point of this video. The PPI report last month, was one of the main reasons that markets slid lower, and it was because inflation came in a lot worse than what was expected. Remember, when inflation gets passed to producers, that often gets passed down to consumers. The PPI report is often viewed as a forecast for the CPI report. Not always, but again, likely. That being said, what is the market's expectation? Core CPI is expected to go from 3.9 to 4.2, a solid increase. From 3.4 to 4.6, that's overall PPI. Again, working against the Federal Reserve's target. They wanted 2% inflation for CPI. We're now at 3.3, working against it, working away from it, my bad. This is where you have to begin to take into consideration, again, what is going on in the Middle East is important, and obviously it's having its negative implications into our economy, but we do have a real issue. We have a very weak labor market. You often hear everyone talking about it. It's incredibly expensive to afford a house right now due to higher rates. Now we also have higher inflation, meaning people like you and I and businesses now have to pay more than what we did a few months ago for consumer goods. this is a problem. And although we're very fixated on what's going on in the Middle East, because again, it's more of a pressing issue, let's not forget what's happening in our current economy. So again, it's not to scare you because again, inflation can be aided by the Federal Reserve with monetary policy and increasing or cutting interest rates. So this is going to be very interesting to see how markets react tomorrow if inflation for the PPI report comes in higher than what was expected. If it shows that inflation is rising more on the producing side of things than what was expected, the likelihood of the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates at all in 2026 will become very slim. And that is not a good sign for Americans, and that is not a good sign for our economy. The reason why is with higher rates, meaning our higher inflation, means that at that point, if we're not going to be cutting our rates, we could possibly be raising them. Higher rates means it's more expensive for people like you and I to borrow money. But again, markets are irrational. They'll do anything it is that they want to. So let's just look out for that. That's when it comes down to the economic reports. The big focus right now with what's going on in the Middle East, are there going to be any attacks? If they don't attack one another, then markets can sustain these elevated levels. If they begin to attack one another, the ceasefire goes out the window and then escalations begin to continue, right? Oil prices will trade higher, inflation will continue to rise, and then markets will begin to drop due to uncertainty and risk getting factored into the market. You guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. Are you preparing to buy the dip to go long right now? Or do you think that things will actually get worse before they get better? So are you therefore maybe staying cash or getting ready to short the market if we actually do see another leg down? Again, let me know down below. I hope to see you for our live trading session tomorrow. We had a lot of fun today. If you ever want to tune on in, it's designed for complete beginners. Take 2 minutes, click that second link in the description down below to learn more about it and to see if it's a good fit for you. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.